I see.
Jesus. And why not?
Now.
Nice. Okay. So. Someone suggested kata. Why not? See how he does. Now.
Lord Moog will have his dignity.
Oh, I yeah, I screwed that up. I failed to buff properly coming into it. So let's get that fixed. Here. Here. Here.
Pleasure to see you.
That's not what
But those remains do not belong to you. Lord Moog will have his dignity.
Ouch. Ow. Oh, man. Hey, Alex. Sorry, guys. Like, in the zone. Yeah, the problem is that I lost control at about 30%, and um, I couldn't get that control back. So I just sort of one thought is Kata seems like an interesting summon. He's really squishy, and I'm not sure that I want really squishy. You know what I mean? But I like the fact that he's really aggressive. So I may give him a try. May give him a try again. Give him a try. May give him. Yeah, whatever. I'm not sure about this Gale Blast. Yeah, and it seems like right now instead of adding fire damage, I've got mana regen. I don't really need it. The sacrifice summon trick seems to do a good job of getting my mana back. Alright, let's do this. Because I can. And we'll do this. Do this.
General Radon, a pleasure to see you. After all this time. But those remains do not belong to you. Lord Moog will have his dignity.
Holy cow. Come on, there's my sacrifice. Alright, let's get this shit out here. This is not going to be good. Oi. Oi. No, damn it, there it is. Come on, guys. Need your help here. Oh, ouch.
A 1,000-year voyage guided by compassion.
Hold on. This is so I'm playing the Convergence mod, which comes with new spells, and this is one of the legendary spells that you get. It's part of the Magma build set. Oh no. Shit. No! Grr. So he's gonna die. The question is, do I get credit for it or not? Because there's no way. Alright, I got it. It's a dirty ending, but we'll do it. So, yeah, Necromancer has this very interesting thing that I finally just started getting kind of control of. What it is there's this series of connected abilities that you get. What is this? Let us go together. All right. There it is. I was looking for this. That was a skillless win? Really? Okay. So there's a series of things that you can do that's actually kind of interesting. But it takes a significant amount of planning in order to pull it off. You realize if he hits me twice, I'm dead, right? Except if you get this set up. So this is unique to Necromancer. Well, correction. It's in the set of Necromancer spells. This spell that I just activated, Phoenix of Death, if you're going to die, instead you don't die and you end up with like 5% of your hit points left, which isn't much. So you can die in the next hit if they sneeze at you the wrong way. But if you can then in turn engage Soul Steal, it auto stuns the mob. It doesn't matter what it is. It even stuns Radon. It does the whole crit vulnerability thing, and it gives you back a soul so you can die again without actually being finally dead. But that still leaves you with no hit points and no mana unless you drink. Oh, and you can't cast it. You have no stamina bar. I know how to dodge. I don't want to play that way. Thank you for showing. So you then in turn can take whatever you've summoned and let me see if I can. So if I sacrifice that guy, it automatically fills your mana and your health bar. So you can use a combination of these sets of things together, which takes more than one. And you don't even need to hit your Flask of Crimson Tears and your Flask of Cerulean Tears if you're diligent about it. But you've got to be able to get those in quickly at just the right time. Rest and come back. Ollier doesn't have anything, but Onspot does. Alright, let me see. This gear set is fire damage. That's funny. Faith, Arcane, Mind, and Fire. Go figure. Okay, so on the Convergence mod, yes, this is my first DLC playthrough. On base game, I've done DLC many times. But this is specifically a playthrough for the Convergence mod. What's kind of cool now is I can find where the bosses are that I haven't killed yet. That's this area here. Let's look at the Divine Beast. So it again, this is a Convergence mod thing. So the build, and that's a slightly more complicated message, I think, than you might realize. Unintentionally, it's not like a negative thing. It's not like a diss. So the builds in Convergence are centered around the idea that there's spell sets that you use, spell types and damage types that kind of center together. So this build is called Necromancer. It's a starting, you start saying that you're going to be a Necromancer, and then they give you the gear set that's commensurate to that, just like the base game does, but there's more of them. And then it follows this idea that you're using a particular set of spell types and equipment, which I deviated from for that fight because it's an all holy damage ability. And needless to say, holy damage doesn't work very well with the bosses. So instead, I will go back to the... Go. I need the torch. And the spells. So now we'll go back. So one of the cool things about the Convergence mod is it creates a very... sorry, let me pause there. Mo, advice for starting for DLC. Take your time. Just like the base game. The fights are harder and more brutal. They hit more often. They hit faster. They just made everything a more difficult version of what you see in the base game. If you use one specific piece of advice is this building right here. This. Stay away from this building as long as you can and play everything around it. But if you cross a barrier right about here, or you cross a barrier right about here, you will shatter a rune that will change the NPCs, and if you have not done your quest properly with them, you will lose the ability to do those quests. Let me take that one step further. So if, for example, you look to, there's going to be NPCs here, here, here. No NPCs here. Here, here, here. This one. And you want, before you can go through here, Castle Enos, but don't get close to this one until you've exhausted the dialogue on all of these NPCs completely. Do the best that you can to get those done. And further, when you talk to the guy that's here, his name's Thalier, make sure as soon as you're done talking to him to go back and talk to this guy more. Exhaust his dialogue again, and then go back to Thalier and exhaust his dialogue. I did most of the quests, but it's impossible to do all of them in one playthrough because they make them divergent. So you want to make sure to talk to this guy and make sure to tell him I'm weary of life, and he gives you a potion back. I am maidenless. My maiden burned the tree. Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing as much as I can. I'm just trying to do complete coverage. Let's see. I'm not sure I'd say it's more real for fights. In some ways, I'd say it's less real, because all they did was just say, well, the players are too good, we're just going to make things more brutal. It depends on the fight, though. And again, you're watching Convergence mod, so the spell set is completely bizarre. I would have at least one complete successful playthrough of the base game before you consider getting Convergence mod. It's a ton of fun, but it's like eating dessert. It's like a vacation from the difficulty of the base game, and so although there are hard fights, hey, Isla Bailey, I'm doing okay. There are hard fights. This one, Convergence mod, that is, if you get used to playing this and you go back to the original game, it's going to feel slow and cumbersome, and it's going to feel really painfully hard, because this version makes it easier. I would play that first, then go to this. Just, that's my advice for the DLC. Never remember how to get there correctly. Only done it once. I have to get somewhere up there. See if we can't figure this out. Isla, if this is going to turn into a request for artwork of any kind, I'm not interested. Please don't waste my time on the stream with that. In some ways, yes, Mo. It's very much worth playing. It is an excellent DLC that complements the first one better. I don't know that I'd say that I think it's better, other than the fact that it was made afterwards, so they had the advantage of knowing things they wouldn't have known beforehand. That doesn't feel right. That's why. Okay. How the heck do I get... Oh, I think I remember... Okay, I have an idea. I think there's a lift that I have to use. Now I have to find it inside the areas. Okay. Ironically, that means I want to get one spell back. You should absolutely play this game. Elden Ring, this is the DLC, and I'm playing a mod to it. Don't play mods the first time through. Just get the base game. It's awesome. It's gorgeous. It's fun. You should definitely... That's actually something that you want to do, and you actually want to play games. Just remember, Elden Ring is a difficult game. Take your time. Don't rush. PC. I still don't want artwork. You're welcome to chat. Just don't go there. Hold on. I want neither of these. But I do want pyroclasm. Oof. Sounds dirty. Oh, and I want where is it? And I'm going to leave that one. And in fact, I'm going to go one step further and add this. Okay, you're asking an interesting question, Mo. This is not NG+. This is my first playthrough. Okay, on this character in Convergence mod, this is not NG+. This is just the first playthrough. I have done NG through 13 or 14 on another character on base game and DLC. Okay, here's what's interesting about the DLC. The DLC does not take place after the base game. The DLC takes place in the middle of the base game. It doesn't make any sense for you, if you win the game, you become the Elden Lord, right? You're now that god. And it doesn't make any sense for somebody else to try and become that. Because you already did it. So they let you, just for the sake of playability, but in fact, you would normally go to the DLC after Mogwin Palace. So it actually takes place in the middle. So just something to consider. Alright. This. Oh wait, Platinum requires multiple playthroughs. No, do not get Platinum before you do the DLC. Because Platinum requires 3 endings, right? You need Frenzied Flame, Endless Night, and then the core ending, I think. If I remember correctly. It's a console thing, and I don't play on console. I think you need those 3. That means you'd have to play through the game 3 times before you go to the DLC. Yeah, don't do that. Do it on your first playthrough. Do the whole thing. You can beat the Elden Lord and then go do the DLC. That's fine. From a play perspective, there's nothing wrong with that. If you go and you finish the DLC before you do that, then when you come back to finish the base game, it's going to be way easier. But I leave that to you to decide what makes sense. All right. Check it. Love it. Oop. What did I tell you? That guy is a problem. And now he's dead. I hate those guys. Ugh. Let's hope. Let's hope this is the right one. I'm not adding you on Discord. I don't know what the obsession is with people coming onto my stream thinking I'm going to connect like that. Well, good morning and good evening. I have a feeling this will not lead me where I want to go. Yeah, I'm trying to get up there. What if... I think there's a lift up there. I think I already killed this guy. Oh, I know where I am. I don't think this is going to get me where I want to go. Hey, hey. I'm trying to get to that damn lion over here. But I'm not having much luck. Nope. From this side? Yeah. Well, the other dancing lion. But yeah, the dancing lion. I actually, in all my playthroughs, I've ever only gone there. Yeah, there's the one at the opening area where you get the mask, and then there's this one. Aren't they both dancing lions? That's the lift I'm trying to get to. This one. Try this again. Yeah, when you are very early in your DLC playthrough, you will end up killing the boss that gets you this Divine Beast head. And then this is another one. I think. Hold on, I need to process this for a minute. I have to kill that guy. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, I use Torrent is one of the optional steeds. You can pick any of these. I like the funeral steed, but I just wanted the 110%. we are going to have to make some adjustments. I'm going to fight the big dude in the basket. Alright. Ah, no. Already there. Alright. Yes, you beat the first dancing lion. There's a second one. And I've only actually ever encountered it once because I never really cared much about getting to it. Oh, hold on. Which? I guess Telu's probably the best choice. What the hell? Ah. What? This may do it. If it doesn't, it sure as hell is close. And there he's dead. Ha ha. Those Wicker Men are much harder in base game. I know the easiest technique to kill them when you aren't going to use the furnace things to throw in their basket. That's the easiest way when you are. I simply used a spell that you don't have in the base game. Jesus. I used a spell that's not in the base game to force his poise to be broken very quickly. that only solves half the problem. They're nearly impossible to do damage to. I mean, you can, but it's significantly more difficult. All right, do this with these instead. Oh, drop something. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Schneike. Son of a bitch. Hit me. Somewhere along here, there should be the key that opens up that. Ah! Oh, hell. Ah, that's funny. I'm not sure who's maybe some people did make some comments. Who's Jenna's boyfriend? What's up, kiddo? Everyone who's on the stream, all probably one of you. Good morning. Not much. Just killed the DLC end boss working on cleaning up the rest of the area. Everyone say hi to Liam. That is my son. That is my oldest son. He is the reason cheerleaders come by my channel and ask questions. Holy moly. That's funny. Most people seem to think that Liam's dad is the appropriate title. But it all works. Well, thank you kindly. Must be up there. Ah. Never been very good at navigating this area. Hold on. Is there a way out here, maybe? There's that guy. Haha! Success, I think. Oh, no! Wrong way. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, Newski. Maybe I do have to go that way? Man. Guess we'll try. I don't think this is it. Uh-oh. Oh, doesn't even got my back. Man. How do I get here? I hope so, although I cannot guarantee my presence at Worlds at this point. As much as I would like to be there, and I hope to be there, there is at this moment no guarantee that I can be there. It is complicated, but I certainly hope so. That would be awesome. Well, thank you for stopping by, Jen. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping to meet you in person, which I'm now sure Liam has probably told you. Oh, is this the one with the invisible... Hold on. This is tickling a memory. It is. It's not what I really wanted, but... Alright. Oh, it teases me. I'm like right there. Totally know where I am, too. I need to be... up on that level right there. I hate navigating this place. It's such a pain in the ass. Hey, Mackenzie. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Ah. Okay, that at least opened up that spring. Still need to get over there. That's the leap I need to make. I have to make it from up there. Which means I need to get up in that area, which is what I'm trying to figure out. That I'm not having much luck with. It's part of the Convergence mod. So the Convergence mod adds a 5 different mounts that you can have. Well, Torrent and then 4 more. And this is one of the mounts that you can get. Each one actually has advantages and disadvantages. This is one of the faster mounts. It is. And I'm at a loss. curious if I can make this drop. So we will test it. For those that don't know, if you drop a colored stone and it shatters, you will die. This mount will take status damage. So you know how you can ride Torrent around in Poison and Rot and it doesn't damage or get buildup? That's a specific thing to Torrent. This mount will eventually get Rot and Poison. But it's also faster, so... I don't get it. I'm gonna have to look it up. I just don't know how to get there. Any way to get up. If somebody knows, it's this cough that's been sitting in my lungs forever, unfortunately. And it's just being particularly bad today. There's a lift that I have to find, and I just haven't been able to find it. So, like, if I stay in this rut long enough, the horse will eventually start to die. Yeah. So I keep getting stuck. There's got to be some way to get over there. Ah! Yeah. Oh, I don't even know how many runes I just had. That's going to be painful. And I got to kill all that shit again. All right, hold on. Rawr. Ugh. That's the lift I was looking for. Jesus, they make that shit hard to find. But now I gotta deal with some big dude with a bow. Oh, but they got this here. That's useful. And where is this big dude with a bow? Oh, come on. Ah, there he is. Somewhere down there. Ah, there's the stairs. Oh, Schneiki. Alright, big dude with bow dead. Ooh, goodies. Not useful goodies, though. It's a mod and it's the DLC. So I'm playing the mod in the DLC. I hope that's actually a useful answer. So I am... Convergence is like a total mod. Oh. Say. So this is where stuff gets interesting. So there's the other dancing lion. See that? Now, the cool thing is, just how long is the range of this spell? Long enough. Out. Man. Oh no. Mad, bro. Where'd he go? Oh, he's below me. Heh. Spada. It's crazy to me that the somber... That bell bearing that I just got is... by the way, that's just this version of Rocksling. It's crazy to me that bell bearing that I just got is actually lower level than one that I already had. So I already have the level 15 bell bearing. This is the level 13, 14 bell bearing. In the mod, all items basically work the same. They all go up to plus 15. Instead of like some 10, some 25, they just made them all go to 15. But you need different kinds of stones still. And so now I can buy this Colossal. I'm curious if I've picked up any new stuff in here. Oh, Twin Moons. There it is. Staff of the Great Beyond. All right. Um, yes, I've defeated Redagon. I'm playing on a Convergence mod, which still has Redagon. And the DLC is... that's interesting. There's no Journey 2. Maybe you can't do journeys in the mod. Or there's a different way to do it. I'll have to look that one up. That's funny. I spent myself out of the leveling runes. Alright. So what I'm curious about now is Mesmer's stuff. Faith and Fire. So, man, it bugs me that there's no int and fire combination. It doesn't seem, which is a bummer. Physical. Int. Physical weapon. Man, that just bugs me. Increase all stats by 2. There's going to be other pieces of armor floating around, I'm pretty sure. It just seems like... So, I mean, I've said 1,000 times before to people on my stream that strength and faith scale well together, and int and dex scale well together, but not, like, strength int. And this build is more strength int, but really, like, if I was going to change from this build to a different one, like right now I'm still wearing the fire armor. If I wanted to go back to Holy, I have to see if there's a better suit. Come to think of it, actually... So, here, I'm going to pull something up on my... So, if you type Convergence and whatever build that you're going for, there'll be a wiki that explains, like, what this stuff is. So, Gravebird's Black Quill Armor, I don't know that I've gotten this yet. So these are the two sets that are notable, but it doesn't mean that I would want to use them. I've gotten... I don't know if I've gotten these. I have not gotten these. Yeah, see, this is pure int faith. That's the red area. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. But I need it to be convergence. Let's go exploring. Oh, until then, I'm going to go back to the necromancer style. I still need to change to the necromancer armor, which right now is this set. Remains. Holy, holy. I don't want empowered. Just do more holy. Yeah, time to go hunting. Come on. Alright, we can go play with this stuff here. To get there, we go here. Alright. I know where at least one place that I'm going to is. Oh, I already saw it, may as well get it. Alexander has 2 talismans that you can get. He has one that looks like this, Warrior Jar Shard, which is not the Alexander one, but you get it from Alexander. If you kill him early, this is the item that you get. It's like a lesser version. The Jar Shard of Alexander you get when you kill him. I think it should be lootable. Isn't it? Am I misremembering? Yeah, when you kill him, assuming you kill him in Fara Missoula, the crumbling area. As long as you kill him there, you should get that item. If you kill him before then, you messed up. Yeah. Slim, what you doing? This is the only one I've played, so I can only comment on Elden Ring. So I can't say that one... Oh, I didn't do that. I can't say that one Dark Souls game is particularly better than another. Sorry. Now there should be... There it is. This is... Wait a minute. I thought that was the armor. Guess not. Alright, more exploration is required then. Oh, like 215. Yeah, 215. But I'm playing in the Convergence mod, so it's not just that I'm higher level, it's that the gear that I have is like way more powerful. And the spells and stuff. Convergence kind of makes it more... it's like a vacation from the difficult part of the game. You know, it's not trivial, but... They all mad. Alright. Nothing else, there's a boss in here to play with. Lamenter's Jail. Walked right by that damn entrance, too. I knew better, and I did it anyway. I mean, level matters a little. There we go. Don't forget my frozen maggots. It's just funny. Huh. Did I pick up a key? I didn't see a key to open that gate. What did I miss? Miss something? Man, has it been so long since I've been here? Huh. Oh, it must be here. Oh, hello. Walked right by it. Oi! Oh, we can do this. Yeah, someone came on earlier and was like, it's a cheat mod. I'm like, a cheat mod in that it's not base game. But it's not like it's a mod that gives you infinite hit points or something. It's not a god mode. You still have to, like, actually cast spells and do stuff. You can still die. Trust me. Consort Radon reminded us of that at every turn. Oi. That's what I thought. Alright. Oh, I didn't get that guy. Boop. Rude. The more FP I get, the less effective my FP regen seems. Okay, so I'll show you in just a sec. I'm playing the Convergence mod, just to be clear. So the spells and stuff and all that you're seeing in the build is a Convergence mod build. So just keep that in mind. Happy to show my stats. So for example, when you look at my attribute points, you're seeing my attributes, not my actual stats. Yeah. So if I see... if you see these stats, they're not yet augmented by, for example, the fact that if I look at... hold on. The suit of armor, for example, that I'm wearing is the remains. The helmet increases intelligence, faith, and endurance by 1. So my base stat's 69, but that makes it 70, and then the other pieces give it even more. My regular character stats are mostly max. It's a level 400 something character with a ridiculous amount of stats. Nope. Okay, in base game... Okay, so in the base game, in regular, non-convergence mod, this is convergence mod. In the non-convergence mod, yes, this armor regenerates your health when your health is very low. So if you're at like 5% health, the regen is noticeable. Even if you get up to like, I think it's 25% is where it stops. So as your health goes up, your regen slows down. So it can make you win a fight. It can give you that one hit point you need to not die, that you get the one more spell off, and I would say that happened to me a few times. From a stats, weight perspective, this is a great suit of armor in the base game. In Convergence mod, it's just a good set of stats for my build. It's a necromancer armor set. If you want to do completely mage, here's my suggestion. If you're starting early game and you want to do it kind of legit, don't go farming anything that you don't normally have access to, right? If you can't kill the mobs guarding something, riding by and grabbing it and running away isn't a good way to learn how to play the game. It's just a way to kind of exploit that environmental. And it's fine. Do what you like. Play the game that you enjoy. That's not judgment. That's just based on my recommendation that you actually take your time to learn how to play the game. I would suggest that you use a mage staff offhand and a sword or similar main hand. You can cast all the spells all you want offhand, but earlier in the game when you don't have many flask charges and everything and you have no reasonable way to regen your FP, you're just going to run out of FP before a dungeon's over. So it's a good idea for as much trash as possible to just use your sword to kill it, backstab, that kind of thing. A fantastic main hand weapon for this is Misery Cord, because you can get backstabs in that are massive. They do tons of damage. But otherwise, a mace is good. A katana. Early game, you can get the Uchi katana, which is a great sword to use, or broadsword are all excellent ones. But I wouldn't go double staff until you're high enough level that you can use a Dula's Moonblade or Carrion Slicer or one of those sword attacks with your staff. Just my opinion. So the problem with all of that is just that they're higher level. That's what I thought. Is that the swords are higher level, and so it can be difficult. The sword spells, that is, are higher level, so it can be difficult to do that build beforehand. But I get it. I've done that build. Now, if you're going to do that, let me add one more thing. This game, Elden Ring, has been beaten at level 1 with a club. And that's it. It's been done. You can do anything. It's just a question of how hard it's going to be. So you can absolutely play the whole game to completion, 2 staffs. I've done it. What you want to understand about the way that the base game works, and for this I'm going to switch over to base game for a minute. Give me a moment. So, traditionally when I stream with a particular character that I have that is, well, high level. So I'm going to log that character in and I will show you what I'm talking about. Just so that you have an understanding of how some of the really important mechanics when it comes to doing a caster playthrough that you're going to want to be aware of. Okay, so this is base game. I may be in the DLC, but this is just the core game. It's not the mod. Wait. Yeah, this is our character. Okay. So here's what you're going to want to kind of pay attention to. So I'm set up for an incantation build, but if you look at my stats, that's totally irrelevant. I could do incantation, I could do stamina. Arcane is the only stat. Arcane and strength are the only stats that aren't jacked to that point. So I'm going to use this to explain caster stuff. So the first thing is what gear you wear. Base game doesn't have a lot of full armor that gives you great augments for things, so you're really looking at the difference between physical and magical damage negation. So just keep that in mind, that if you go with a magical damage negation, something hits you, you're going to get hurt really bad. And you can only do so much stacking. So a typical example of a build that you might do would be things like the Snow Witch hat, which gives you where does it say? She was a witch and well-versed in cold sorceries. Strengthens cold sorcery is on the screen. Where's that? Up there. Strengthens cold sorcery. So if you're using cold-based sorcery, this is a good one to choose. If you're using... Where is it? Helmets are where that stuff typically exists. For argument's sake, I'm going to put the hat on. And when you look at the actual armor you're going to wear, you just want to wear the best reasonable armor. I don't really have any particularly good caster armor. It's all in my bank. I have tons of gear that's in my camp. It's not in the base game. So, for argument's sake, I'm just going to keep this gear on, just because it's not going to... it's not a huge difference anyway, other than the hat for cold sorcery. Okay. You're probably going to have the astrologer's set, which is a base set. It's not going to do much for you. That's not really where your stuff's going to come from. Okay. So, if you're going to do a dual staff build, your main hand staff, whichever one you use, there is only one thing to look at. Only one. When you have a staff picked, look at this value right here, sorcery scaling. It's the only stat that matters. Sorcery scaling is telling you what all the other stats are giving you. For these, I'm going to say this very carefully. For the hand you use to cast the spell, main hand, offhand, doesn't matter. For the hand you use to cast the spell, you want the highest sorcery scaling possible. Full stop. It affects all spells that you cast on the sorcery side, not incantations. You want the highest number. That could be your Carrion Regal Scepter at really high level. It could be your Staff of Loss. It could be whatever. You want whichever one of these is going to give you the highest possible number. For me, it's Prince of Death's Staff, because I have very high int and faith. And this staff is triggered by both. So I get a very high value for that. At very low level, Meteorite Staff is the best staff that you can get. Yep. So, what you will want is whatever number it is, that's what you want in your main hand. For me, it's Prince of Death's Staff, so I'm going to put that in main hand. Offhand, you want to pick the staff that is best suited for the spells that you're using. Because Meteorite Staff is already main hand, you don't need to worry about that. Offhand won't matter. Your Meteorite Staff is already maxing everything out. There's nothing you can put offhand that's going to give you anything more. However, if I wanted to boost gravity sorcery spells, I would put that in my offhand. If I wanted to boost lava sorcery, I'd put that offhand. And most importantly, if I wanted to boost Carrion Sword Sorcery, ding ding ding, I'd want that in my offhand. These are passive effects. This is the important part. There's a third thing, but these are the two critical ones. The sorcery scaling, the passive effect. Now there's a special case, which does not exist in any gear I'm carrying, so I'm going to go into my inventory to show it. There's a third case to consider, which is this. For a few very special staves, if you look at them, grab those two. If you look at them, you'll see there's no passive effect listed. However, if you look at the description, it says enhances power of all sorceries, but consumes additional FP. That bloody well means it, by the way. You use 40% more FP. Here's the deal. With those effects, it's complicated. Sometimes you must use that staff to cast the spell. So even though you have a higher sorcery scaling staff, this is the one you have to use to cast the spell. But if you put this offhand, you won't get the enhanced power for the sorcery, but it'll still consume the extra FP. So there are people that will use Lusat's Glintstone Staff. Please feel free, if that's your highest sorcery scaling, but it's going to use a lot more of your mana when you go to cast a spell. So if you're going to do Comet of Azure build, you want this staff available for when you cast it. But I'll sum it up to make it a bit easier. Comet of Azure build is a massive mana use, but there's a physic you can use that makes your 0 mana use temporarily. If this is okay, so again, this assumes that you're like, if you're not going to do any lava spells, don't put this offhand. Yes. Your main hand should always be whatever the most is. Offhand is where. So if I go through to memorize my gravity, put your meteorite staff main hand, don't even worry about it. But let me make sure I go back to the first thing I said. The incant scaling, or the scaling, counts for whichever hand is casting the spell. So literally, if I go to... hold on. I do all my core stuff down here. Is it still frozen? Oh, we're back? Okay. Alright. So, right now I've got... I'm going to use... what do I want to do? Adula's Moonblade. So, if I use... Hold on. I want to make sure he's aware of me being there. So that was like 450, then 1251. It hits twice. That's... Hold on. I'm going to use Rock Sling. That's not going to work either. Ah! Roiling Magma. Here we go. Okay. So, if I'm using my main hand staff to cast... Oh, yeah. I meant to hit it. 1026. Right? That was using my main hand staff to cast. Now I'm going to use the offhand staff to cast. And I have to make sure he's aware or the damage will be messed up. 717. If I change to my non-lava and I use the offhanded cast, 647. You can do anything that's within your spell set. You won't always be able to cast as fast as they do. There's never a reason to use your offhand 1433. So that was my main hand attack. Here's the offhand attack. This is with the staff that makes this spell more powerful. 1023. It did 400 less damage, even though I'm using the staff that's more powerful for that spell. You cannot... okay, sorry.